Once upon a time, there was a hard-working farmer who lived in a rural village. Every day, he would carry two clay pots to a far-away well, where he would get his daily drinking water. He would carry the pots tied onto a wooden stick, resting on his back. One pot was perfect in every way. It was smooth, round, and flawless. Not a single drop of water ever spilled from that pot. However, the other pot had a small crack on the side. Because of the crack, half the water leaked out slowly, drop by drop, before the farmer reached home. The perfect pot was very proud of itself, looking down on the cracked pot. I am flawless, it would think to itself. I do my job perfectly. I'm a boss. I get my own water. Ain't no one grinding like me. They need me. One morning, as they swing gently on opposite ends of the wooden stick, the perfect pot looked at the cracked pot and said in a mocking voice, "Look at you. You are completely useless. Half your water is gone by the time we get home. Why does our master even bother carrying you? You are nothing but a burden to us." The cracked pot stayed silent, swallowing the pain. But those words cut deep into its heart like razor blades. Day after day, the same thing happened. The perfect pot continuously came at the cracked pot, insulting and teasing to its heart's content. The cracked pot began to believe the mean things the perfect pot was saying. The farmer, unaware of the cracked pot's feelings, continued his journey back and forth from his house to the well. Until one day, the cracked pot could not bear the weight of his shame any longer. As they walked across the path, tears began to drip from the cracked pot's face, landing on the soil below. In a trembling voice, filled with sorrow, the cracked pot said, "Master, I'm so sorry. I'm useless to you. Please forgive me." The farmer, surprised by the cracked pot speaking, looked at it with gentle eyes. In a soothing voice, the farmer said, "Why are you crying, my friend? What troubles your heart so deeply?" The cracked pot spoke in a voice full of shame. "Because I am broken. I am useless, master. I have a crack in my side. Every day I lose half of the water you work so hard to fetch. You wake up early, walk a long way, and carry such a heavy load. But because of me, half of your effort is wasted. And even though it's my fault, you never yell at me or toss me away. You're such a kind master. I feel ashamed of myself for burdening you. I am trash. Please forgive me for causing you so much trouble." The farmer listened quietly, with a gentle smile. When the cracked pot finished speaking, the farmer, in a kind voice, said, "Oh, is that what troubles you, my friend? That's the pain you have in your heart? Don't worry. Tomorrow, I will show you something very special. And after that, you will never feel useless again. I promise you this. The cracked pot was confused, but the farmer's words brought a sense of comfort. On the next day, the farmer was continuing his normal routine for getting water from the well. On his way back from the well, the farmer said softly, "Today, I want the two of you to pay close attention to the sides of the path. Look down and observe what is there." Both pots looked down, and the cracked pot gasped in surprise. On the cracked pot side, beautiful flowers were blooming all along the side of the path. They were so captivating, the cracked pot completely forgot its sadness. On the perfect pot side of the road, he had only dry earth and stone. Seeing this, the perfect pot began to have feelings he's never had before. When they reached home, the farmer set the two pots down on the ground gently. Again, the cracked pot's water was half empty, and he became upset. The cracked pot turned to the farmer and said, "Even after seeing those beautiful flowers, I am still broken and half empty. I am useless." The farmer, in a gentle voice, said, "No, my little friend, you do not understand yet. Didn't you notice something special about the flowers?" The cracked pot thought for a moment and said, "They are the most beautiful flowers that I've ever seen." "Yes," said the farmer, "but where were they growing? Which side of the path?" "Well, they were only on my side," said the cracked pot. "Exactly," exclaimed the farmer. "And why do you think that is?" The cracked pot couldn't answer. The perfect pot, too, was listening carefully, its pride beginning to crack. The farmer spoke with love in his voice. "Because I have always known about the crack in your side. And many months ago, because I understood your crack, I planted flower seeds all along your side of the path. Every single day, when we fetched our water, you were watering the flower seeds, drop by drop. And now, because of you, the whole path is filled with beautiful flowers. Every morning, their beauty fills my heart with joy. Travelers who pass by stop to admire them and feel at peace. Children play among them and laugh with happiness. All of this joy and all of this beauty is because of your crack." Tears of joy started pouring from the cracked pot's eyes. For the first time in its life, it felt valuable. It felt special, and it felt loved. But then something strange happened. The perfect pot, who had been listening, suddenly spoke. In a voice that was free from pride, but in a gentle tone. "Master, I have something to say. I am deeply ashamed of myself. For so long was I degrading and shaming the cracked pot. I called him useless. I called him worthless, and I thought I was better than him. For so long, I thought I was more important. But now I see the truth. Nobody is above or below anyone else." The perfect pot turned to the cracked pot and said, I am truly sorry for everything I said to you and how I have made you feel. My dear friend, please, will you forgive me? The crackpot, whose heart was filled with compassion, said, "Of course I'll forgive you, my friend. We all make mistakes. What matters is that we learn from them." The farmer smiled at both pots. He was pleased to see transformation in both of them. Then he spoke words of wisdom that both pots remembered forever. My dear friends, nobody in this world is perfect. Nobody. We all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. We all have our gifts and we all have our limitations. That is the nature of life. He looked at the perfect pot. You are excellent at holding water without spilling it. And because of you, my family has clean water to drink every day. You fulfill your purpose perfectly. The farmer then looks at the crackpot. Your crack is excellent to water the beautiful flowers all along the path. You fulfill your purpose perfectly also. The farmer paused and with great wisdom said, "Both of you are perfect in your own way. Both of you are necessary for my life to be complete. Together, you make my life whole." And from that day on, the cracked pot leaked water with joy, and the perfect pot carried water with humility. Remember, human family, we all have strengths and weaknesses we should be grateful for. But we shouldn't let our strengths give us an overinflated ego. And we should be able to see that even our weaknesses can serve a greater purpose. The end. Ego is like a stormy sea, turbulent and unpredictable. Humility is like a calm river, flowing smoothly and nourishing all living things. Human family, we need to address certain attitudes that are becoming cancerous to our society. Attitudes that come from inflated egos and being torn down. Something our Western societies love to propagate and program. But before we can address any attitudes or even any problems, we have to get super real with ourselves about how we are programmed. Anything that enters the five senses, sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell, has an effect on our overall energy field. How we use our minds, develop our bodies, develop our emotions, and develop our life energies, all have an effect on our overall energy field. Finally, everything in our environment, closer having stronger effects than things that are further away, all have an effect on our overall energy field. For us to change our environment, we need to make choices and take actions that are dependent on our overall energy field. This is why, to change the world, we must first change ourselves. Currently, our systems are run by a collective energy of greed, corruption, lies, hatred, illusions, ego, etc. That's why no matter what is being created by our leaders or the ruling class is going to create suffering of some kind and magnitude. To understand what I mean by suffering, I'm referring to the Buddha's Four Noble Truths. First noble truth: life has pain and suffering. And in my understanding, pain being that of learning a lesson, suffering being that of not learning the lesson the first time. Second noble truth: suffering comes from the seeds of ignorance, greed, hatred, and desire. Third noble truth: there is a way to end suffering. Fourth noble truth: the way to end suffering is through the Eightfold Path. The energy of the entities that create the systems in our societies have systematically inserted their intentions and programming into every aspect of our society, whether it's education, healthcare, food system, housing, government, etc. It has all been corrupted by these lower energies, and we're seeing the suffering in real time. And so, I end it here. What will you choose to do next? If we want things to be better, we must take responsibility and make it better with our own two hands. How we make it better is going to be determined by our overall energy field. How loving can we be with each other? How tolerant or patient can we be with each other? Do we have the integrity to do the right things even if no one else will? Let us take this time to learn how to really love ourselves. Learn how to focus deeper, to go deeper inside of ourselves. Let us learn how to use the literal magic that is all around us, that has been opened up to us. There is so much more amazing experiences to be had by all of us. Let's make it happen. And so, thank you, my human family. We are all in this together. Until next time, let us all walk the middle way.